This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast. Today's sponsor, among others, is Audible. With an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more. Get a free audiobook with a 30-day trial at www.audible.com/banter. Now on with the show. Guys, welcome to Dynamic Banter! Guys, today is a very special edition of the podcast because
we have too many things.
And you know what? It might be a problem soon.
I think it's already a problem.
Well, we'll have to see because I'm a big fan of old-timey radio. Why are my levels so low?
You know how I like to have a lot of things.
Is that you? Oh no, this is me.
Did you
Oops.
flip both of the things?
I'm dumb. Go ahead, Mike. Let me hear your levels. Okay, we're good. I maybe we have too many things on the table now. I do think that the Andy Kaufman religious candle is very comforting to me.
Does it have to be on to be comforting, or does it just have to be here to be comforting?
Well, I think the way that it goes is...
Do candles go on?
Well, when it's their time.
You're talking about candles moving on.
Right. I think the way it goes is... You guys tell me if I'm wrong, you religious folk. I used to be a Catholic, so I seem to remember these candles having cut.
Dude, that's the worst.
Cut action.
When you have a little thing that you don't know where it comes from.
A little throat goblin.
It always sounds
little throat
weird.
boy.
And it never happens when you're by yourself.
No. It always happens when you're like either recording something or when you're talking to someone.
Yeah, like having a very important conversation.
I hate it. You know what I don't like? People who overtly point it out.
Sorry.
Well, no. Like right now.
Sorry, we have a podcast.
Right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm making podcast content. No. I mean, like, I'm a jokester, Mike. I like to make jokes. I like to laugh. I like to giggle. But sometimes, you know, when I'm talking about something and like I'm very like being serious, or maybe I'm making a good point, at least in my head.
Your friends are still being bitty.
Well, no, that's fine. That's fine too. But then like suddenly I get a throat goblin.
Yeah.
Like the way I picture it is, you remember in Alice in Wonderland in the cartoon when she's going down the like that long little like dirt hallway with all the doors in it, and she's just like falling and falling and falling.
No.
Mike.
Yeah. Are you getting mad at me for not having seen that movie in probably 30 years?
Yeah, dude, I haven't either. I honestly have not seen Disney's classic Alice in Wonderland animated movie since I was a child.
Well, we got to have it ourselves a Saturday.
But that's one of those moments that you just don't forget. It's timeless. She
I
falls
have
down
forgotten
the
that.
rabbit hole.
Oh, the rabbit hole. I've heard of it.
All right, we're going somewhere now. We've struck a chord.
Drinks the stuff and she becomes Tom Hanks.
She got a little bigger than Tom Hanks.
I got
think,
nothing but good feedback from my Tom Hanks impression, by the way.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I liked it.
You're in the middle of a story.
Oh, yeah. So
when you have a throat goblin.
I picture the throat goblin is literally that rabbit hole in Alice in Wonderland when she's falling, and there's like a little old-timey door. It just opens up and a little goblin comes out and he just looks up and goes, "Rah!" And then he goes back in and closes the door.
That's pretty specific, but I like the imagery. I don't like when you're having a serious conversation with somebody and maybe you're with your lady and you're like, man, we've been together for 3 months now, and I just think it's but time for us to...
That's one of those throat goblins?
Yeah, that's the yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it sounds like.
Or this one. Because
you know what I picture when I hear that sound?
It's
like somebody's squeezing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich as hard as they can. And there's no reason
There's
for that.
this scene in Return of the Jedi
where he squeezes a sandwich.
when Han Solo squeezes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. No, when there's like a weird close up on Salacious Crumb.
That sounds like a cupcake flavor.
Salacious Crumb. It really does. That should be a flavor of ice cream or something.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Salacious Crumb
Ask
is
Ben
the,
and Gerald.
I'll call him right now.
Can we get Ben and Gerald on the phone?
You know what? Jerry's busy, but we might be able to get Ben.
I don't want Ben.
Nobody wants Ben.
Nobody
Let's
calls
be honest.
Ben.
Jerry's the funny one.
If you're gonna call a famous Ben on the phone, better be Uncle Ben.
If your name's Jerry, you better be the funny one in the group. That's a trickster's name. What was I saying? Oh, Salacious Crumb is the little gremlin-looking dude that sits with Jabba the Hutt and goes, that little guy.
He was also every character in the Labyrinth.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. He got a lot of work after Jedi.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but you know what?
What?
Was Labyrinth after Jedi? Yes, it was.
What?
Was Labyrinth after Jedi? Is the question I asked myself.
When was that? 87?
85?
85? 84 was a year back then.
83 was Jedi.
Okay. Great.
I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I had a funny thought on the way over here about that movie specifically.
Return of the
or
Jedi?
any of the Star Wars movies. What if, you know how every once in a while, you especially will see a movie that not a lot of your friends have seen, but they'll want you to explain it to them? Mm-hmm. I think it'd be really funny if, like, because you know you always fumble a couple of the details, maybe you only saw the movie once.
Oh, yes.
If somebody was explaining Return of the Jedi or any of the Star Wars movies, but they, like, it's such a well-known movie and all the characters are so beloved, if he forgot the name of one of, like, the biggest characters, like Luke, or Han, and he just kept calling him Dan.
So Dan's the chosen one.
So, no, explain it to me. Like, explain the plot of the movie to me like you're, like, trying to remember it. Not like you know it.
Okay.
Steve knows it.
Okay.
But, like, you saw it maybe twice and you're so excited to...
This is an exercise in improv comedy.
Sure.
Because I know that movie so well, it would be very hard for me to get it wrong and convince you I don't know it very well.
Then let's have a fucking...
No, I think
Listen,
I'm going
if
to
you
try.
don't think you could do it...
No, I'm going to try it. I'm
Okay,
just
here we go.
preparing you for how difficult it may be for me.
Now I just hope it's funny. That's
So,
all I hope
With
now.
this Dan thing, though, it definitely should be Luke.
Okay.
Is that confusing? Is that what you're saying, or you want me to surprise you?
One of the...
Okay,
one of the
all right,
biggest
I got
characters.
it. I got it.
Okay.
All right. So you've never seen Star Wars?
I've never seen
the
Star
original
Wars.
Star Wars?
I saw one of the older ones with all the young kids. Everyone looks too clean and they're CGI.
Okay, those are the newer ones.
Yeah, tell me about the old boys.
The old boys, let's see. One of them is like, okay, so the first one is from the 70s. And it's about this guy who's like a farm boy, and he like he wants to like leave and
Fruit
become,
farm or root farm?
it's a desert, so
Pumpkin.
no, I think it's like cactuses or something. I
They
don't know.
farm cactus, sure.
I can't think of anything else they'd farm in the desert.
Okay.
The snakes. So so he lives with his aunt and uncle, and he dreams of bigger things. He wants to go off and live a bigger life than the one he's living.
He wants more
And
than the farm life.
He wants more than the farm life. And he doesn't know who his parents are. He was raised by his aunt and uncle.
Uh-huh.
His name is Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
Okay? And
That's a cool name.
It's a really cool name.
This is not one of those guys who can get by in the name alone, because that sounds like a famous
I
name.
know, right? Skywalker.
Yeah.
Like, man, your fucking name's Skywalker?
Not only that, but Luke.
Luke.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all the Lukes I know in real life are real wuss people.
Is that true?
They're wusses.
I only know the cool hand.
Do you know that man personally?
No.
So Luke Skywalker comes across this man named Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh.
And he's like an old Jedi.
Mm.
And the Jedi is like magic. And so,
Like David Blaine?
yes,
Okay. So it's all...
mouth tricks.
all...
Nothing but mouth tricks.
Nothing but teeth and cards. That
Mouth
guy.
and vomiting up thread and.
How long could Obi-Wan Kenobi stay in water?
Can he sleep in a container with little air for 3 days?
Could he get tied up and trapped in a shoebox? Like
Do you
David
think
Angel.
Can he levitate in the street and impress common people? Can he break a quarter with his teeth? Obi-Wan Kenobi breaks a quarter with his tooth and tells Luke Skywalker, we need to help this princess. Her name is Princess Christina, and she's works for the good guys.
Princess Christina?
Princess Christina. And she is like, she sends a message in a robot.
Yeah.
And the robot displays the message
What's the
like a
robot
hologram. R2-D2.
Okay.
And there's another robot. He's gay. His name's C-3PO. And and the little robot, trash can one, projects a hologram of Christina.
They
and
use
says,
him as a trash can?
No, he kind of has the shape of a trash can.
So he does trash things and the hologram messages?
Well, he doesn't actually do trash things.
If I had a Dixie cup
You know
next to
what?
PPPO, where would I put it? If I was drinking a Dixie cup of water
And then you
next to
cri-
the small
and then
one,
you
what
crushed it.
happens?
You could probably lift. So he's got like a dome. You could probably lift it and toss it in there and close it right back up.
But you'd have to like get rid of it later because it's not a trash can.
Well, there's
Or
a little.
is it a
There
trash can?
apparently there's a man in there. So he'll throw it away for you later. Man.
Hold this, you say.
So then they go. So the Christina sends the hologram to R2-D2,
Yeah.
and then she says, "I need your help, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope." And then
She knows Obi-Wan from
she
a
knows
past
Obi-Wan
experience.
from a past experience.
They play pool together?
She knows
or-
that he's a Jedi.
Okay.
That he's a magician.
Cool. Did he see his Netflix
She
special?
saw his the one where he swallows a thread and then he pulls it out of his tummy. Like there's a thicker hair on his tummy and then he gets someone to pull it and it's the thread he swallowed.
Now, why is
And
that?
he makes this face while he does it.
Okay, now,
Ow. And then the people are pulling it and they're like, "Oh no! Ew, it's the string he ate!"
and
he's
that's
like,
because it hurts.
"Ow." I don't know. It probably doesn't hurt, but he's playing it up.
So he's really magic, or he's tricking people on the street? Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I'm sorry. Are you assuming David Blaine is not really magic?
Listen, it's all on TV. I'm very skeptical.
I get
of
it. I understand
Kiefer Sutherland isn't really a vampire.
Like from the film Lost Boys,
From the documentary
24,
Santa Clarita.
Santa Clarita
The people.
Diet.
Okay, anywho.
So anyway, long story short, they go to help Christina and they escape from the bad guys.
That's
and
fine.
they blow up the Death Star, Darth Vader.
That's great. That all sounds great. I would see that tomorrow.
And Christina's a big role model for girls. So,
Is that true? Well, it's a beautiful name.
so when I think of Return of the Jedi, when I think of the little bubbles that your tummy makes or your throat makes, the little goblins,
Yeah.
because you said you think of someone crushing a peanut butter sandwich. I think of, there's this one shot in Return of the Jedi when Salacious Crumb, they cut to Salacious Crumb and you can see Jabba's belly behind him and it like wiggles.
Okay.
It's like wiggling. It's like a part of his fat belly.
Yeah.
I picture when your stomach is making those little sounds or like the.
Yeah.
You ever been in a meeting and your stomach just goes,
Yes.
and then everyone looks at you? I had one happen recently. We were sitting in the something, and Ava looked at me, gave me a look because my tummy made a sound. I felt bad, but
You know what that means? That means poop soon.
I guess so, or digestion.
Same.
But I just picture Jabba's little belly moving. And I feel like that's in my stomach somewhere.
Yeah. I like that.
I
It's
picture
good to have
gross little-
visual connections to things. That's it's so important to have a strong visual connection to bodily
Yeah.
sounds.
What was I saying? When, I think we have too much stuff here, and
On the
but
table?
I thought it was unfair that I have this, and Mike doesn't have anything over there. So I introduced a new element to the podcast, which is a pleasant little chime that Mike can hit anytime he wants.
And I will.
And you could also put your hand over it if you'd like the sound to stop. But I think the ring out is nice.
How was that? Every time you
We're like
burp,
15 in.
the sound you make after you burp is like you let yourself down.
So, in my way of doing things, not only did I give Mike a new fun toy to play with,
Yeah.
and there's 3 tones there. I don't know why you keep hitting the same one.
That's my favorite.
All right. There's a deeper one. I can have you guess which one that is. Definitely not that one. But I will say I also brought another toy. Well, it's not fair to call this a toy, but I will say I have one other thing here that I brought as well, which is my singing bowl.
Let's take a listen to that.
Go ahead. Isn't that wonderful? It's a rich sound.
I gotta tell you, it sounds similar to what I have.
The price is still on here. Does that make it mystical still if the price is still there?
It does look like a very mystical. Please, what do you know about this?
Well, I would never be able to do it any justice at all if I tried to tell you what I really know about it. I do know that it has something to do with prayer, I believe, or meditation.
Okay.
And it's very ornately designed inside. I couldn't tell you the origins of it. I wish when I bought it, someone had told me, and I'm sure we could look it up and very easily figure it out, which we will do in just a moment. But first, I want to show you guys, if you've never seen one of these before, and if you don't know what they do, and for those of you just listening to this damn thing, it's basically just a bowl.
Yeah.
With ornate decorations inside.
It's beautiful.
It is very beautiful. It's nice designs. There's some language I can't read around the edges. And it's just a wonderful, I don't know what this material is. Maybe
Bowl material.
some kind of clay, maybe.
Yeah.
It might be metal.
And then it's made in such a way where it makes a sound when you do that when you.
There's a wand or a.
It's like a mallet type.
It's
of
like a mallet, yeah.
It's like a muddler.
Ooh, I don't
Picture a muddler.
know what that is.
Well, picture like when you
Was
muddle
that
something.
little character in Futurama that pooped out the gray matter or black dark matter?
No.
17 minutes, huh? This is what creates the sound. And then, Mike, have you heard me mess with this before?
I have.
Okay,
It
so
looks like a lint brush, is what
it kind of looks
like.
a little bit like a lint brush,
Yeah.
but that's not what it is. Sometimes you also, when you purchase one of these bowls, it comes with a nice little ornate square pillow.
You've said ornate more times than I've heard.
I'm sorry, it's a lot.
I get it though. It's helping.
It is ornate, though. I wish I could describe it another way. It's very detailed.
This is nothing if not ornate.
It absolutely is. But the pillow, you can rest it on. There's a pillow you can like rest this on, I guess.
Interesting.
And I don't know if it helps resonate the sound or if it's like a nice little, just a decorative thing.
Just
but
so it doesn't
we're gonna
fuck
look
up
it up.
your ancient table.
I think we're gonna look it up and in a bit. But at first, I want to show you guys.
Are you okay, bud?
Mike,
Yeah.
I'm gonna point my microphone at this, and then you're gonna just kind of. Will you narrate for me what's going on? When I
Okay,
do it?
Steve is pointing his microphone at the bowl. What now? Okay, now he's kind of putting the muddler around the outside of the bowl, not unlike something you would circle outside of a bowl. Let's say that you wanted cereal.
Or it's like I'm whisking a large egg.
Did you guys hear that?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Shit, I fucked up. You made me fuck up.
I feel like you maybe
Do you think I hit it too hard?
I don't know. Can I make an assumption? Okay. Yeah. Good. This episode is going to be called How to Get 30,000 People to Unsubscribe to One Podcast. God. Do you still have your headphones in?
You didn't really describe what I was doing, Mike. I was surprised.
I wanted it to stop too bad.
So it's a wonderful sound
A feeling that even surprised me.
when you're trying to meditate or when you're trying to relax a room, maybe. I found, so I purchased this in Idlewild, and I was having like a nice little trip with pals up there, and when I brought it back and started that going, it was very pleasant for everyone in the room, and especially since you can keep it going forever.
Yeah?
That like pulsing,
Yeah.
it just will keep going forever as long as you're.
Why does it make that noise?
You know, I don't really know, but I think it's the vibrations of hitting the ball,
Yeah.
and then what you're doing is you're kind of like,
There's a material around the end, wrapped around the end of the
it's kind of like
muddler thing.
it's like maybe like a leather or like a some sort of cloth,
Okay.
maybe a cloth material, but it kind of like captures the vibration of the initial hit and absorbs it, and then kind of keeps it in the bowl.
Okay.
So I think while you're doing this, you're kind of keeping the vibrations going, the momentum of the vibrations, and it just is resonating this sound. It's really cool, right?
It is very cool and very interesting. I will say, for anyone, not just you, don't have something like that in the house and not know everything about it.
Good point.
Because everyone that's such an impressive noise and sound to make, and it is relaxing, and it does kind of make you feel something.
Yeah, it certainly does.
And then what's going to happen is they're going to ask a bunch of different questions, and you got to have the answer to that.
Well, you know what? I think you're right. You're absolutely right.
Thank you.
I'm going to read to you right now. Holy boys, look at how big that boy is.
That's a giant.
That's a big old boy version of that boy.
Very elegantly put.
That's a 4-boy big boy. That's a 4-bowl big boy, 3-horn honk.
It's fast honks.
When are we going to become the Dr. Demento show? Has it already happened? Or?
Yeah, I think we're 0 miles away from that right now. I think we're standing right on top of it.
I think pretty soon the skin on our hands are going to start to connect, and then we're going to just become Dr. Demento together. And we'll be this one entity.
That sounds gross.
And we'll just call the show Dimeter. Because we combine ourselves. Okay, here's what the Wikipedia says about singing bowls. You know what? I'm glad we're doing this because you're right. I shouldn't even own it if I don't know the
It should be on the
story.
wall next to a plaque that says everything you're about to read.
You're right. There should be a printout that I stick above it.
Laminated
Plenty of room
printout.
here for more stuff. Singing bowls, also known as Tibetan singing bowls. Why don't they just call them Tibetan singing bowls then?
I mean,
Singing bowls, otherwise known as Tibetan singing bowls.
that's like saying singing bowl, also known as the singing bowl.
This is what it's also known as: ringongs,
Okay, I like that one.
Himalayan bowls,
Okay,
or suzugongs.
that's probably my favorite if I had to pick.
They're a type of bell, specifically classified as a standing bell, rather than hanging inverted or attached to a handle. Singing bowls sit with the bottom surface resting, and the rim vibrates to produce sound characterized by a fundamental frequency, which is the first harmonic.
Okay.
which is clickable, by the way. And usually 2 audible harmonic overtones. Second and third harmonic.
That's my new bit on the show is every time somebody says that's clickable. How often do you think we're going to hear that?
I hope
sound?
everyone's editing their history roads they're about to submit to add in clickable. That's clickable. Singing bowls are used worldwide for meditation, music, relaxation, and personal well-being. Singing bowls were historically made throughout Asia.
I like the personal well-being. Like if you're having a bad day, you're just kind of lounging out on the couch and you're like almost crying a little bit. You don't feel like watching a movie or playing video games.
Yeah.
Where's that bowl? Can I hit the bowl and then make the sound come out forever?
I like that, Mike.
It's not bad. I would do it once.
Fuck. I can't get music in because I forgot to arm the track that I can make music in.
You gotta arm it.
Oh, man.
What's up with you not arming tracks?
Can I do it in a pause?
Armin Tracks sounds like an awesome EDM DJ. You would
Armin
drive to Las
Armin tracks?
Yeah, you would drive to Las Vegas to see that, man.
Should I can I pause it and activate it, you think?
No, that would be horrible for this.
Mothers.
What did you Oh, you're trying to get music. Wait a minute.
Singing bowls.
We're surrounded by instruments. I think we can figure this out.
Yeah, we'll keep this horn going the whole time I read the rest of this. Singing bowls are used Now we're losing the 30,000 followers.
Hold on. Let's try this before anything else. Let's try hitting everything on the table that makes noise.
Welcome to the Noise Podcast, where today's noises are gonna be a collection of keys, bowls, and horns.
Welcome to Melodic Canter.
Welcome to How to Disrupt Your Neighbors. Don't forget to put the speaker right up to the wall where you think your neighbors sleep. And tonight we're gonna have a nice random array of keys jingling, dishes breaking, horns honking. We've got a man who just bought a tuba. He's gonna try that out. He thinks he might get good at it in a couple weeks.
A very clumsy lady with a box of bells.
We also have a man who this was a great clip that someone sent to us. Someone's dad was putting away all the Christmas ornaments and accidentally dropped the box from a high up ladder. So that's all coming up on the podcast.
And I'm just getting word now that we have one more guest, and this is a real treat. I guess he's on tour. He's never in town. We have the first man who, in a silent library, dropped a book face down.
We also have an unwell man ripping burlap at one point. Right into the microphone for us, and he was using a SM58 microphone, which should sound nice and full of tone. And you're going to hear all those threads ripping as the man is grunting and making sounds that I can't really identify any of them.
All that and Billy Joel coming up within the next hour.
That's right. We'll be putting You May Be Right on repeat for 3 hours. Okay, so singing bowls were historically made throughout Asia, especially in Nepal, China, and Japan. They are closely related to decorative bells made along the Silk Road from the Near East to Western Asia. Today, they are made in Nepal, India, Japan, China, and Korea.
Is that it?
Well, in some Buddhist practices, singing bowls are used as a signal to begin and end periods of silent meditation. Let's try that now. Some practitioners For example, Chinese Buddhists use the singing bowl to accompany the wooden fish.
Dude, you keep saying singing bowls.
Like it's a country
Jug
like,
band. You got your blowing tube. I got my singing
I got
bowl.
my wash tub. You got your singing bowl. All right, hit it, Joey.
Well, that's the beginning. That's the beginning of every song in that particular jug band. Well. Okay, Jerry, that's enough out of the singing bowl.
All right, see you guys next week. Let me know.
Remember, every Tuesday is Bluegrass Day.
My sister's having a baby, so I might be late, but I'll get that bowl on over to you. Cool, man. Well, there you go. I want one of these big boys.
Dude, that's like a cauldron. That's like a witch's cauldron.
What do you think kind of sound that would make?
A giant one.
Mm.
You have to, that's like churning butter. You have to be so strong to make the noise come out of that thing. I'm saying this having no experience with it.
What happens if we put water in it and try to do it?
You ruin it.
It'll never make a sound again.
It goes from singing bowl to ruin to singing bowl. No, it's an interesting experiment. Water makes all kinds of noises sound
Yeah,
cool.
it certainly does.
Put it
And
on a shirt.
Have you ever heard Crystal...
Baller by Third Eye Blind?
No, Crystal Method? No,
Yeah.
have you ever heard... Have you ever heard, like, people take, like, all these, like, glasses, like, just normal drinking glasses, and they're filled with various degrees of water?
Sure.
And then they lick their finger, and then
That's
they go...
not just any drinking glass.
It's not just any?
They have to be crystal.
Is that true?
Yes.
You did know that?
Yeah.
Is
Didn't
that...
you say that? Didn't you start that by
Well,
saying
yeah,
that?
I did say crystal, but I wasn't sure if it was
No, it's
only
just,
crystal.
you can't just do that with any glass.
I didn't know that.
But you can't, like, fill up different bottles with different
right.
waters
and you could
just
blow.
tap 'em
Oh,
like
and
this.
yeah, you're right. Oh, that's true.
Hey, which is the glass and which is the instrument? Okay, this
Okay.
is for you watching.
This is a
at
new
home.
segment on Dynamic Banter.
Glass or instrument? Do we have the theme music queued up?
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, there's going to be 4 hits.
There's the theme song.
What? Glass or instrument? We're going to have 4 hits. You tell me which is the glass, which is the instrument. Here we go.
And for those of you that can see this, close your eyes.
Close your eyes starting now.
Well, I've got my answer.
Not done? It's time. Glass or instrument?
You guys send in which one you thought was the glass,
Give me that snail mail address.
and I want you guys to make your description of which sound you thought was the glass as complicated as possible. You could say, I think the third sound was the glass, or you can say, you can show me just numbers, and you could make the right number spaced out more than the other numbers.
Which sound was the glass? Answer in colors and write into this address.
Green was the fourth sound, so I'll let you guess all the other colors for the other sounds. You guys tell me which ones you think it is by hitting us up at Dynamic Banter.
And
on
keep in
Twitter.
mind, this is our first contest, so we're still working the bugs out.
Well, I'm not working them out. Nobody has time for. Who has time for that?
This is a fully realized thought.
Guys, we got to take a short break and get to some sponsors.
This is my favorite part of the most recent shows have been the sponsor parts.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, it's because I think they're different than any other sponsor spot.
They certainly are, in that they're not done well.
That's the one.
And we're never prepared.
We had 17 conversations about how many sponsor spots we had before the podcast started.
You know what? Let's talk really quick first about Blue Apron.
Okay.
Blue Apron is a fantastic fresh ingredient. In fact, it's the #1 fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country.
Don't settle for second best.
Don't you dare. Blue Apron's mission is to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. And it also achieves this by supporting a more sustainable food system, setting the highest standards for ingredients, and building a community of home chefs. Are you bad at cooking?
Yes.
Well, this is going to make it so much easier for you guys. Blue Apron has established partnerships with over 150 local farms, fisheries, and ranches across the United States. And as a result, the seafood is sourced sustainably under standards developed in partnership with the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Watch. The beef, chicken, and pork come from responsibly raised animals, and produce is sourced from farms that practice regenerative farming. Blue Apron can be delivered to 99% of the continental U.S. and 99.5% of food deserts. And because Blue Apron ships the exact amount of each ingredient required for a recipe, they are reducing food waste. Clickable link. And guys, check this out. You get that Blue Apron delivered to your house, you're going to be cooking together. It builds strong family bonds or relationship bonds or friendship bonds. Research shows that Blue Apron families cook nearly 3 times more often. How cool is that?
Ooh, it's cool and it's easy.
You love your family? Of course you do. No matter what. Even if they suck, you still love them. It's the only family you got. You
Especially if you're hanging out with them and there's food afterwards. Doesn't matter what they say to you.
Yeah, certainly doesn't. And the thing is like, look, you're stuck with these guys and gals, or guys, or just gals, for the rest of your life, or until one of them dies, which might be soon or not. But the thing is that if you want to make this family work,
you're going to have to cook together.
Eventually. And how awesome would it be if you surprised your family with a Blue Apron subscription and you guys start cooking meals together? Why not make a family meal cooking night?
Yeah, Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, everyone gets together. Why not? Wednesday's a hump day. No one likes Wednesday. And you make it the day we're all going to cook together as a family and talk about your day and get all personal about shit. And just get close to your family. Get closer to your family. I wish that I gave a shit about cooking and my family when I was a young boy. So I'm telling you right now, if you want to be the best son or daughter or husband or wife or aunt or uncle or niece or nephew or cousin or friend or dog, what you got to do, the best solution is to get Blue Apron, cook with your family. Bring it over and say, we're cooking tonight, guys. It's a family affair. We're going to cook together whether you like it or not. And check this out, guys. Those who spend a lot at restaurants or at high-end grocery chains can now spend under $10 per person for a delicious meal with Blue Apron. And check out these featured upcoming meals, guys. You could be cooking this with your loved ones. Cashew chicken stir fry with tango mandarins and jasmine rice.
Oh, God.
Ooh, cook it up. Roasted pork with apple, walnut, and farro salad.
I zest it.
Crispy barramundi with quinoa and roasted carrot salad. Udon noodle soup with miso and soft-boiled eggs.
Soft what?
Listen, let me say something here. Not all ingredients are created equal. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a great, real difference, so it's important to know where your food comes from. No, a lot of people don't know where their food comes from, and that's scary and gross.
Most people.
And the thing is like, you don't know, man. They could be mistreating these animals or pouring pesticides all over the vegetables. And
watch a documentary, any of them.
Any of them. If you have Netflix, stop watching fucking Daredevil and watch a goddamn documentary, huh? Watch a documentary about food! Now, I had Blue Apron. I got a Blue Apron the other day, and I cooked a meal for my first time in my whole life. I went from making toast to making roast. Thanks to Blue Apron.
It's so good.
And guys, it's affordable. Less than $10 per person per meal. That's crazy! I went to Whole Foods and I spent $35 for a sandwich! Yes, it had baby calf in it! That's why it was $35!
It had a full new...
Baby veal. It was veal. It was a veal sandwich.
It was 2 pieces of bread taped onto a side of a live baby calf.
Caked in paprika. I'm talking mozzarella. You can choose from a variety of new recipes each week, or let Blue Apron's culinary team surprise you, which is pretty cool. And that's nice for the whole family because it's like Christmas, like food Christmas. And every meal comes with an easy step-by-step, easy to follow recipe card and pre-portioned ingredients that can be prepared in, get this guys, 40 minutes or less.
That's almost
it's crazy.
No time. That's less than an hour.
Less than an hour. And if you guys are working together, it's even quicker. And guys, less than an hour to bond with your family?
Yeah.
Let's get real here. Your family's going to die.
Oh my God.
You wish you'd have that 40 minutes back someday. One day you're going to be lying in bed and you're going to be like, oh man, what'd I do? Oh no. Mom. Take your time. Take your time. Take your time. All you got is time.
All you got is time. You can't get any of it back. You can't.
And guys, Blue Apron's freshness guarantee promises that every ingredient in your delivery arrives ready to cook, or they'll make it right. So here's the deal, guys. Check out this week's menu and get your first 3 free meals. Get your
your first 3 meals
three free meals, guys. Your first 3 meals free with free shipping as well by going to blueapron.com/banter. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron. So don't wait. That's blueapron.com/banter. Blue Apron, a better way to cook.
I like it. What's next? Dude, you're fighting yourself today. I feel like I'm picturing you as a giant. And I'm picturing all your organs as like townspeople. Little pitchforks and torches. Try to get you nice.
Okay, I'm really excited about this one.
By the way, your hair looks great.
Thanks, man. I just got a haircut.
Looks terrific.
Thank you, man. I'm trying to be fancier these days. And we got the summer coming up, even though it's colder than the goddamn East Coast over here today.
All good points.
But it's a warm home right now. And guys, I'm very, very excited about this next sponsor, Audible.
Ooh, they're back.
Audible.com. Audible. I have history with Audible.
Like romantic?
I'd say it's romantic because there's a lot of romance in their library.
If you listen to a romance novel on Audible, which is one of the biggest libraries of audiobooks on the internet that has ever been created, is it like phone sex?
It's like listening to 2 people have phone sex.
In the 90s, in 1997.
It's like a menage a trois of phone sex.
Okay. Sold. What's the promo code? Do we even need the rest of the app?
No, that's it. Guys, Audible is awesome. I used to use it way back in the day when SourceFed had an Audible subscripy. And Mike, have you done Audible?
Absolutely. I've done it for the podcast. I've done it for videos.
I haven't done it for any of my personal stuff, but I'm very excited that they've decided to sponsor Dynamic Banter. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love Audible. I love reading. I love books. I am a big book nerd. I just picked up Jim Henson's biography.
The one mostly about genetics.
And I also picked up a book about the Marx Brothers touring during vaudeville.
Nice.
Doing their live shows and stuff, which I'm very excited to dig into. But here's the thing about those books. Those are physical books.
Heavy.
And I was just having kind of an argument. Well, not really an argument. Don't get worried. I was having a conversation with Bree about how, why are we still buying books?
Uh-huh.
And it makes me sad to say that because I still buy physical Blu-ray and DVDs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I like to have my collection. I'm collecting those things. And some people collect books, and I get it. But for me, it's like I don't have much room anymore.
Sure. So you don't have room to start a library.
I don't have a room to really get my books all displayed. And So you know what I did?
What's that?
No joke. I just digitally purchased those books, and now they're on my phone.
And you burn the rest?
And I burned the other ones, and I yelled out things, hateful things. But the point is that I think the future is in digital books. I think the future is in either...
You sound like somebody with a really good idea 15 years ago.
And then they're like, get the fuck out of here! You don't know anything about books! Next up, we're going to talk about VHS tapes and how they're taking us into the future. The highest quality you can get. But no, Audible is very awesome because it's just a massive premium digital spoken audio library on the internet. And it seems here that Audible is actually an Amazon company.
Ooh, is that right?
Yeah, so you can download audiobooks and other audio products, which is really, 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 really cool. And that's actually how I used Audible to listen to the Groucho Marx book that Rob Zombie is turning into a movie. Or I heard he was turning it into a movie. I don't know if he's still doing it, but it's all about kind of Groucho Marx's final days and this guy that kind of like
When
became
he was
his
fighting
assistant.
zombies.
When he was fighting zombies and killer clowns. But the Audible's great because you can access their library of audio on iPhone, Android devices, Fire tablets, iPods, if you still have them, or other MP3 players. That's absolutely true, guys.
Cool.
So here's what I want to say. If you want to listen to it, Audible has it. With an unmatched selection of audiobooks, original audio shows, news, comedy, and more, you will find what you're looking for. So get your free audiobook with a 30-day trial today by signing up at www.audible.com. That's audible.com/banter. That's audible.com/banter. And, you know, as far as like books to recommend, oh, that's my mic. As far as books to recommend, I don't really, like I said, I'm reading Jim Henson's biography, which is really, really cool. Which I don't know if the audiobook is available, but if it is, I would love to listen to it.
Yeah. Any of the thing with audiobooks is it makes travel like not, if you're not a good traveler, it's like if you rotate music album, comedy album, podcast, and audiobook, it's like it's the closest thing to time traveling that you have.
It really is.
Time Traveler's Wife, probably an audiobook that you could pick up.
The Back to the Future novelization, potentially on audible.com.
Can't Hardly Wait, the book.
The Butterfly Effect. You're right. When I fly anywhere and it's a long flight, like an audiobook is like tops.
Yeah, it's like somebody telling you a story, and you go back to when you were Leo, and it feels nice.
So yeah, guys, check it out. I mean, there's a lot of great comedy books out there. There's a lot of great, the Groucho Marx book that I listened to on audio was really, really cool.
Bo Burnham.
Egghead. So if you guys use our code and you get a book, an audiobook, recommend some audiobooks to us.
Yeah, please.
And if there's anything that you're listening to on Audible, just tweet at us at Dynamic Banter and, hit us up. Maybe we'll listen to those books and then we'll talk about it or some shit.
Sounds good. Every time you want to tweet to tell Steve what the name of that documentary is with Jack White, instead, just go get an audiobook from audible.com
/banter
and then tell Steve what you got.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thanks to Audible. That's super rad. And one more.
And we have one more.
One more. Guys, let's talk a little bit about Squarespace.
Please.
You've heard us talk about it. We love it. Mike uses it. I have yet to get mine set up, but I'm going to do it soon. I swear it.
MikeFalzone.com is a Squarespace-powered site. I could do everything I want on it with a blink of an eye, with the swiftest of ease. And I don't know anything about the HTML or coding or anything like that.
Or HDMI.
HDMI. I
or
don't know
HELP.
anything. I don't know. I've never used the capital H. But I love Squarespace so much. I could do whatever I want on my site, make it look exactly like I want, even better than exactly like I want, with minimal effort.
Mike, can you spell H?
Well, there's
You guys can create a beautiful website or online store with Squarespace's award-winning templates. They've got their templates that are just easy to just click on. You know, you want your website to look a specific way. Squarespace has you covered. You don't have to know anything about design. There's all these great, very easy templates. They've got their beautiful all-in-one platform, which doesn't require any installations or patches or upgrades.
They update everything for you.
It's already on their website, and they are constantly updating it. And there's also their award-winning 24/7 customer service. If you guys have any issues at all, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, Squarespace is there to help you with your website.
They're just there. Wish them Merry Christmas.
That's right. And those domains are so easy to set up, and the whole experience is very transparent. Just give it a shot. You'll see how easy it is. And it's flexible for any kind of website. That's right. It's used by a wide range of creatives, people and businesses, musicians, designers, artists, restaurants, and more. A lot of people are using Squarespace, guys. It's good stuff. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com and enter the offer code BANTER to get 10% off your first purchase. Guys, do it, will ya?
Please.
Make your next move with Squarespace, all right?
Also, just as a little added bonus, it takes your site and it converts it perfectly to like mobile. Like if people are looking at it on their phone, it changes it so it looks like an app. It's awesome.
That's really cool.
It's good stuff.
So it's friendly for iPhones and Androids.
It's one of the friendliest.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Squarespace, and thanks to all of our sponsors, and thank you guys for sitting through that stuff. And I hope you guys use all these codes and offers, because it really is good deals on good products and good services, and we really wouldn't be advertising them on the show if we didn't believe in them and like their products.
And also, like, think about how much you guys like this podcast, and we're so like grateful that you like this podcast. And now, like, real companies are getting behind us and helping us out. Make this for you, so that's really cool. I would get behind the companies that are getting behind your favorite stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because this show's fucking weird, and technically we shouldn't have any sponsors, but we do for some reason.
And it surprises me on a constant basis. So I'm digging in. Normally when I pick a history road, I dig in to the newer ones.
Yeah.
But I think that's unfair to those that have sent history roads like months ago even.
Sure.
So I'm going to dig into one that came in January, and stop me if I've read this one, Mike. And I really maybe need to just start deleting the ones I've read already. That way I don't read them, because we've read so many history roads that I don't remember them all, and I've got a bad memory anyway. So.
Same. So why are you asking me?
Well, forgive me if we've done this one then. But it comes from...
Here comes the second version of this one.
Maybe it'll be different. This one comes from Da Cashman. And
I feel like I would have remembered that.
I think so too. And the subject line is a real life history road. Alt title: The Woes of Listening to Dynamo Bananas.
Oh, you've definitely not done this.
I hope Dynamo Bananas is the Hispanic version of Dynamic Banter.
Or like apes doing just exactly what we were doing.
Which they really could do, and maybe even better.
They have no problem sponsoring the apes.
These apes are bringing in a lot of listeners, guys. You can't really compete.
They're just as funny, and they're apes.
Blue Apron has jumped ship. They're going to the apes. They love their bananas. Why can't I figure out how to spell the word dynamic? Well, you see, it starts out a long time ago. You see, a couple of weeks ago, I was listening to the most informational podcast on the planet, Dinosaur Bronchitis. In that episode, I learned the most valuable information I'd ever heard. Never under any circumstances do you open your horse. I found this information so useful in retaining one's safety that I proceeded to tell everybody about it. About a day into the madness, my sister was annoyed with me, asking, why would I just randomly say never open your horse? Or similar expressions such as, you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if you were the first worm to wake up in the morning. Fast forward just a little bit, I'm off to go see a movie with the ultimate friend zone situation where my best friend is also one I have a crush on, but she doesn't like me back. Oh, man, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Been there, done that. Turned out fine.
Way been there. Way done that. Happier now. Anyways, I ask if I can drive because hashtag environment, hashtag sad. She wants to make sure we'll be safe. Knowing that I had recently sliced open a horse, I texted back that we would fall into a ditch and reincarnate as rhinoceroses. No kidding, real life, she was obsessed with the fact that we would reincarnate as rhinos. Not even in an offended way like I was calling her fat. She just couldn't comprehend the idea that people as virtuous as us young popes would possibly reincarnate as rhinos. Anyhow, I get to her house. I decked out as John Belushi from the Bluesy Born Boys.
The two bluesy horn men.
He said the Bluesy Born Boys, hashtag double honk. Hashtag we got a born boy here. I tell her I'm going to do a skit where I ask the box office for a bubble base burger from SpongeBob. But we don't get to the movie in time since the movie is the Bye Bye Man. I decide instead to ask the box office for a ticket to the Great Piano Man, talking like Steve did in his most recent episode where he imitated a 20s gangster. Do it quicker. No kidding. After I actually asked for the real movie, he couldn't hear me and thought I was doing the bit. At this point, my friend was one of the many people who knew I was obsessed with a governmental prohibition on opening horses. So when we got our snacks, I told the vendor to never open his horse. She didn't know what to think of it. Sometime after watching the movie, I knew what I had to do. I was going to make a Photoshop of the Bye Bye Man poster that was the giant piano man. Since it's been a meme lately to make fake Bye Bye Man posters, I figured this would fit right in.
Are people really doing that?
Yeah, they were doing it, yeah.
Is it funny?
It's pretty funny. There's one that's like Pee Pee Poo Poo Man or something. It's pretty funny.
I hope that guy's 40 who made that.
It makes it even funnier. It was mostly for her amusement and also mine, but since she found the joke funny, I was going to finish the sentence, but I can't. Anyways, then Steve likes it, then Mike likes it, and then a whole bunch of dolphin bunches born boys, double honk per person. Hashtag we got several born boys here liked and retweeted my tweet. Oh, yeah, so he did do that. He did that, and I liked it, and you must have liked it, too.
Probably.
Because he said you liked it.
Well, I'm not one to call this kid a liar.
Now that would be all I need, except then I took a little peek into the most recent episode of Two Young Born Boys, hashtag quadruple honk.
Ding.
Hashtag can I have two born boys please and thank you in a really hot steamy studio apartment choking Owen while humping the fridge in Las Vegas where John Goodman supposedly keeps his farts and pizza. Y'all are giving a shout out on Twitter. I knew there was a bunch of social Mordecai activity on the bird place, so I knew I was even getting...
I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what's happening.
He's talking
right
about Twitter, the bird place.
Oh, okay. Now I get it.
It's like I feel like I'm reading the Clockwork Orange book.
Yeah, right?
It's like eggy wags and steaky wags, and we went for nighty nights.
And we all drank milk. And we were contemplating the awful things we were going to do while we were drinking milk.
We don't do like dancing, drinking milk,
throwing up their milk.
So I knew I wasn't going to be the only one, and I might not even get mentioned. But dude, I worked for like 3 hours on that thing in MS Paint, and you passed me up for a 5-second meme with E.T., and he's not even in a dress with Alf? And now you know I did this whole history road to mask the fact that I'm really bitter at like 2 of my favorite entertainers in the whole Apple cord. Also, that episode was hilarious. Good night, guys. Try not to die. Watch out for snacks. Well, thanks to Cash Man.
Big thanks to the Cash Man.
I feel like he was then... So we didn't like it? I thought we did like it.
I honestly, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I'm glad we read that history road. I'm glad that the Cash Man's name is out there. I'm glad that we got to sit in an experience with the Cash Man. I have no idea what was said. And I think that's okay.
I think he went to see Bye Bye Man with his girl that put him in the friend zone.
Uh-huh.
And
which doesn't exist.
Which doesn't exist. And they were late for the movie, so instead he asked for a ticket to Large Piano Man. And then after that,
which
I have no idea what
theater
happened.
In 27 years?
Unless they were it's one of those like hipster LA places where they're like, we're just showing big tonight.
Yeah, all we have is the newest movie, 8 pounds, and big.
We got John Wick 2 and Big. Which one do you want to see?
We got Lego John Wick and Tom Hanks.
Ooh, Lego John Wick would be rad. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Cashman, and thank you everyone else for listening and putting up with this bizarre sound-filled episode of Dynamic Banter.
I'm sorry for almost every sound that was made in this
Almost,
episode.
including the sounds out of our mouths.
Well, those you can't help the gurgles. Everybody knows that.
The goblins, the little throat goblins.
Can't help the gurgle.
I can't help a tummy goblin.
Somebody make a movie poster, the gurgle goblins.
Can I write a spec script for? I mean, it's not really a spec script, but do you think I should attempt to write a script and send to Pixar about babies, goblins that live in your belly that make all the sounds that you make?
I'd love to give you my honest opinion, but we got 7% battery on the camera.
Okay, so let's stop. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Dynamic Banter. As always, if you want to send us your history roads, you can do so at the dynamicbanter@gmail.com email address, or you can send Mike Falzone and I Dynamic Banter themed things or corrections or things that you want to say about the podcast right at our faces at Mike Falzone on Twitter and at Steve Zaragoza, or you could just send them to the at Dynamic Banter Twitter account, which is also a great solution and a good place to get retweeted for things if you make fan art or some shit. And also, I noticed you guys are getting your Dynamic Banter t-shirts in the mail.
Oh, yeah, man. You guys look like an army.
Everyone looks great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy and proud of everyone. It brings a tear to my eye to see you all wearing that logo on your shirts.
Yeah, thank you to everyone for being patient and like pre-ordering the t-shirts. You all look great. Thank you for sending us your pictures because that's awesome. Big smile on my face every time that happens. Thank you to Byron McCoy for printing them, and thank you to Alan Guzman for designing it.
It's just such a great collaboration between people that I enjoy, and also
a couple people you can't stand.
And a couple of people I can't stand, but I love it. I love life, and I love everyone in some way, in a little way even. But I can't wait to see you guys out in public wearing those shirts, and it's so exciting. I think it's very cool, and I appreciate it. So thanks you guys for buying those shirts, and more merch to come for sure.
Yeah, man. Also, can I plug stand-up shows?
Yes, please do.
Wednesday, March 1st at the Federal Bar in North Hollywood. Thursday, March 2nd at Sycamore Tavern somewhere else in Hollywood.
Guys, go see Mike Falzone doing his stand-up. He's a real funny boy, and he's getting better and better every damn time. Ooh, I'm real jealous of him. No, I'm just real proud of him because he's doing a great job out there. And I'm so proud of you, and I see all your great posters that you make and all your lineups, and
I like
you're growing up.
Them. Thanks. Thank you.
It's very exciting to watch you grow as a comedian, and I love it. I love seeing it.
People have been saying things like that, like I'm making it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
Half of being a YouTuber or a comedian is faking your level of success.
And that's what we're doing out here.
That's what we're all doing. Because there's a big difference between the big YouTubers and us.
We're happy.
We're happy, and they have lots of money.
Maybe we can find a real middle ground.
It'd be nice to have a middle ground, but guess what? I have yet to see anyone who has it. So, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
That was a HeadGum podcast.